John 12, 1-11. 6 days before the Passover, Jesus arrived at Bethany, where Lazarus lived, whom Jesus had just raised from the dead. Here a dinner was given in Jesus' honor. Martha served, while Lazarus was among those reclining at the table with him. Then Mary took a pint of pure nard, an expensive perfume. She poured it on Jesus' feet and wiped his feet with her hair. And the house was filled with the fragrance of the perfume. But one of the disciples, Judas Iscariot, who was later to betray him, objected. Why wasn't this perfume sold and the money given to the poor? It was worth a year's wages. He did not say this because he cared about the poor, but because he was a thief. As keeper of the money bag, he used to help himself to what was put into it. Leave her alone, Jesus replied. It was intended that she should save this perfume for the day of my burial. You will always have the poor among you, but you will not always have me. Meanwhile, a large crowd of Jews found out that Jesus was there, and came not only because of him, but also to see Lazarus, whom he had raised from the dead. So the chief priests made plans to kill Lazarus as well, for on account of it many of the Jews were going over to Jesus and putting their faith in him.
Hi, and greetings from our urban farmhouse here in downtown Harrisburg. Today's meditation, Mary has anointed Jesus with expensive perfume. She poured the contents on his feet and washed his feet with her hair. Judas is indignant. This was, after all, worth a year's wages, and shouldn't something this expensive have been sold and its contents used to help the poor? But Jesus says something we don't expect, and something that seems to us contrary to what his disciples experienced in his ministry to that point. He says, "You will always have the poor among you, but you won't always have me." Now, with apologies to Pastor Kelly, I don't have Tupperware, but I have this really cool Ziploc bag that I've been carting around with me for more than 25 years now. And some of you might remember it. I did a stewardship piece with it maybe 15 years ago. And here's the backstory. My son Stephen, when he was about 6, was beginning to understand that Christmas was really about giving. And so the collection of little things in this bag were his gift to me that year. We had a ball, a coaster that he made, a decal that he made. We had some granny glasses. We had a finger troll. We had, in fact, a real troll, and you kind of get the idea. They were in a pizza box. The box itself was a game board he had drawn, but he filled the box with those things. And the pizza box, of course, hasn't survived. I mean, it was, after all, a used pizza box. But I still cherish this bag full of little things. And here's why. They remind me every time I see them of his excitement and that deep emotion he felt. I mean, I can see it in his eyes, and you could feel him twitching almost, that he just had to give me something, and it just had to be big, and it had to be special. And so here's what he'd done. He drew a game board in the pizza box. He drew a Christmas card, which is also in the bag, and the inside probably explains the cover a little better. And then, of course, his famous door mark instead of Hallmark, 6-year-old humor. But all that wasn't enough. By his bed was a nightstand with a small drawer, and it was the place where he put his special, cool little things. He pulled the drawer out, and he emptied its contents into the pizza box. Everything. And so, Christmas morning, here, Dad, here's everything that's special to me. I'm giving it to you. It's all yours. All right, now, take that picture, and now think of the context for Mary. Remembering Pastor Kelly's devotions a couple weeks ago about Jesus raising Lazarus, we know that she and Martha and Lazarus had been part of his ministry. They were loved by Jesus and believed in him as the Messiah. Mary's own belief is echoed in her words, "Lord, if you had been here, my brother would not have died." And then Jesus brought Lazarus back to life. And so in this passage, we're just days after that incredible experience, and Mary is once again in his presence at a dinner in his honor. And imagine the strength of emotion that she's feeling, that combination of gratefulness, of faith and love and joy. It's overwhelming her, and she has to find a way to express that, to pour out that emotion and to honor him. Can you feel that? So she takes this perfume, her precious possession, pours it over him, washes his feet with her hair. Of course, what else could she do? But Jesus takes it one step further. Something she and his followers could not have known, something that his disciples were only beginning to understand. It's just days away from his betrayal, his trial, his crucifixion, and his resurrection. And so Jesus says, it was intended that she should save this perfume for the day of my burial. You will not always have me. Her gift has become prophetic of his sacrifice. Now, Jesus still wants us to help one another, and the parallel story in Mark 14 says it in a more understandable way. The poor you will always have with you, and you can help them anytime you want. And I know many of you are doing that, especially during the difficult time we find ourselves in now. He's now 30-something, and Stephen and I were chatting last week, and he was asking about the federal stimulus checks that we'd each be getting, and he concluded by saying he didn't really need it. But he has ideas of who to give it to. And it's a different gift that Jesus is asking us to give. Yes, our time and treasure are valued and are necessary. But his gift to us was the sacrifice on the cross. And the gift he seeks in return is each of us. Our bodies, our souls, our full faith and commitment, our everything. Mary's lesson is that he is truly worthy of that gift. Thank you for joining us for this time of meditation and praise. Be safe and be well.